If Blair Witch met a $5,000 RC car, the beginning of this video would be that movie. Low budget, but hey, it's going to win some Oscars, going to make a lot of money. I don't know if Blair Witch won an Oscar or even an Emmy, but it did make a lot of money. So the FW01 2018 from Mecatech, this is what we're testing. What do you ask a guy that has a car worth $5,500? What are you doing? Is that the only one you have? And everybody that has one of these will answer, this isn't my only car, fool. We spent the day at Steel City RC Speedway to test this car and to test if we know how to drive a fifth scale. So let's check it out. And of course, we got to end some drama in this intro. So our $55 GoPro camera. See you later. If you've raced anything under fifth scale, you don't know what mass is. Sure, your X-Max is like 15 pounds, but racing a 22 to 25 pound race car around the track is a different experience. Mass means it doesn't want to change directions like our darty little 10 scale nitro cars. You have to drive this sort of like a real car. So let's check out the chassis. When you purchase a Mecatech, you get a rolling chassis. And what that means is it's not rolling. You get the chassis. You have to buy the rear diff that doesn't come in the box. So you have diff options, but if you want to go forward, you still got to buy a diff, tires, electronics, an engine, and a body. So on top of the $2,000 base price of just the chassis, you got to spend some coin, or if they whatever they say in Italian, because it's an Italian car, to make the car roll, you know? But what's cool about this car is that this chassis is a machined aluminum chassis, sort of like a real race car, not stamped steel, I guess. But you don't get 1mm arms. Everything is a nice looking, full aluminum, machined, adjustable. You have real hydraulic disc brakes. You have camber adjustments. You got diff adjustments. It's just awesome looking, let's be real. But it's heavy, 22, 25 pounds probably rolling. And that means you got to drive a little bit different. You can't just go out there and drive like a maniac, turn right, and the car's going to turn. Because you're going to end up in the wall and smash your little $5,000 car, and then you're going to be butthurt. Let's be real. But under the body, it's a really good-looking chassis. The engine sold separately. You got a lot of options. The air filter looks like the mic that you should be talking on, or something else if you're a pervert. The titanium pipe is freaking sick. You can get one that's aluminum, but the titanium has a little bit more of a rasp. In general, the shocks, you can adjust all that stuff. Everything's really adjustable, and because it's bigger, it's actually easier to work on because you're not in these little tiny areas. You have to have little elf fingers and smell like peanut butter. Let's take a little closer look at the radio tray. It's a lot of servos, 4. I asked why we don't use the big servos in there, the giant ones that were made for that. And they said the 4 servos, well, the 2 for the steering on each side, are more consistent and provide more power. So makes sense, and they're not as expensive as the big ones. So there are a few other diff options, but obviously the Mecatech one makes the most sense in a Mecatech car. Rear-wheel drive cars, super, super important. The diff has to be adjustable. This one is externally, internally. You can adjust the pressure and how the car drives, and really the traction of the whole car is based on that rear end because it's only pushing wheels in the back, remember. So you can see we were wearing in this track. It wasn't a race day, so there's not a lot of rubber being put down, and they don't spray the track. So you can see how important that rear diff is because it gets a little squirrely when you get on the power. Disc brakes are freaking sick. So those look just like Brembos, little Brembos. They're hydraulic, they're adjustable, and I love them. The front and rear suspension obviously has some adjustment, and you can see the little 1mm clip-ins allow you to adjust the camber easily and precisely. And you could also see the reservoir of the big-ass shocks, so you won't have any emulsion or bubbles in there, but that's just like a real car, and big springs. The engine runs on pump gas, and the higher the octane, the better. So if you can find some race gas, thankfully we were at Fontana Raceway, so there's some higher octane available, but just gives you better performance. The fuel filter just even looks cool, just propped up there. But The great thing about four-stroke engines is that they run. The clutch is also sold separately, and you have to buy one. It's adjustable. Another hugely important piece on this car, just because of the traction and the weight of this car. You really just gotta. You're basically driving a Miata with a 9-liter Chevy engine, so it's got a lot of power. And once you get on the pipe, it's like a 2-speed, and even though the car doesn't have one, it does kind of unsettle the car when you get on the pipe. And you can hear it when we're going around the track. There's definitely a audible difference between when that engine starts to sing and when it doesn't. So you got to get used to it. And driving with a heavy car means you got to slow down for the turn, set up, and kind of carry quarter speed. This teaches you how to drive smooth and efficiently, because you can't come in hot, lock the brakes up like a video game, and turn. You will be driving off the track and very wide. Am I going to answer, is this the best fifth scale on the planet? I'm going to say maybe. It is the world champion. It does look pretty badass. You do have to spend a lot of money on it. It drives pretty decent, not like a 10 scale. It's a little harder. You got to get used to it. You got to learn mass and all that kind of stuff Einstein told you about, but it's fun. Steel City Speedway in Fontana. Go there. They'll help you out, set you up, maybe even let you drive their car if you ask nicely, but don't tell them I sent you. Click, like, follow, subscribe. Velocity RC Cars Magazine. Do it now. And just watch some racing in the wind, because it's pretty windy up there.
Is this when it gets on the pipe, or is it there it goes?